This week on Barefoot, we want to show you some of our favorite spots coming down the northern Exumas in the Bahamas. We spent quite a bit of time in the Berry Islands this time before crossing to Nassau. About halfway to Nassau, we had fish on. I don't know what it is.
Probably a fish.
It didn't look...
Did it jump?
Yeah, it didn't look blue.
Fox. What we got, babe?
Mahi mahi!
We got mahi mahi for dinner. Fox is not very... Fox, no.
So as you saw when we were really in that fish, Fox goes absolutely crazy. So I really don't know what goes on in her brain when we have a fish on. What do you think? Do you think she's saying, "Don't hurt it, it's my friend"? Or, "Give me some"? Or, I don't know. What do you think goes on in her little brain? Hey Fox, what do you think? We have been traveling with our friend Brian on SV Farfalla since we got to the Bahamas, basically. So Brian is on a Hughes 38. He only has a 14-gallon fuel tank, so he's one of those guys that will actually sail everywhere he goes. We have traveled with a lot of buddy boats in the past, and a lot of them will motor sail or just motor their boat. Brian is a true sailor. So when we leave an anchorage at the same time, it typically takes Brian about 3 hours longer than us to get to the next location. But he's using the wind, so that's absolutely fine, and we love Brian for that. So as we are talking about MAST and sailing, about once on every video we get a comment from somebody saying, "Are we gonna sail barefoot again?" We would love to put a rig back on this boat. However, we've come to the realization that we need to find work again. Like we did when we worked in the Cayman Islands, it's almost come to the time for us to find work again. So we are actively looking for jobs, whether it be here in the Bahamas or further down the Eastern Caribbean. We are going to have to put a pause on making YouTube videos for a while if we find jobs. Or should I say, when we find jobs. So we'll keep you posted on that in the future. Hasn't happened just yet, but hopefully soon. So our first stop here in the Exumas is Allen's Key. Allen's Key is pretty cool if you haven't been here before, because you can go to the beach and say hi to all the iguanas. For us, it's not really the best location because there are so many iguanas on all the beaches here. It's really not smart to take the dog to the beach. So we've only stopped here for one night. We really don't think it's fair on Fox to keep her stuck on the boat. So next stop, Norman's Key. Norman's Key is famous for the plane wreck. So it is definitely worth checking it out when you're here, but timing is everything. So make sure there's no tourist boats there because it can get quite busy. Lots of fast tourist boats come from Nassau for a day trip, so make sure you choose your time wisely. It's super cool. There's lots of marine life. We would highly recommend it. So we've now stopped in Shroud. Shroud Key is one of our favorite places in the northern Exumas. Make sure you inflate your paddle boards. There's so much good exploring to do up the Mangrove Rivers. So Brian and I hopped on our paddleboards and we went up the Mangrove Rivers, as you can see. It's absolutely beautiful, but it ended up being a longer trip than we originally thought. We went to a place called the Rapids and the Whirlpool, and the current was insane. Coming through there, it was a little bit difficult, and Davy, being my little cheerleader on the beach, was not exactly what I needed to hear at that moment.
Myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. This really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again.
Oh my god, I pooped. I just got back. That was ridiculous. Brian likes to do boat concerts off the back of his boat when we're on anchor, and it's always a lot of fun. He always ends up playing Barefoot Man for us at least once.
Your shoes. I say ain't got none. If you want to come inside of here, you just better go and find yourself some. I said, man, whatever you're selling, I surely don't want none. If it means I gotta hide my toes from the lovely, 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 lovely sun. I am a barefoot man, barefoot to make my stand. I bare my soul for all the world to see, yeah. I am a barefoot man, feet planted firmly in the sand. Bare your feet, set your souls free. People sometimes stare when they pass. They say, son, aren't you a little bit worried about glass? I said, man, that's the last thing on my mind. Thank you for asking. I am a barefoot man, barefoot to make my stand. I bare my soul for all the world to see, yeah. I am a barefoot man, feet planted firmly in the sand. Bare your feet, set your souls free.
So that brings us to our next stop in Wardrick Wells. Wardrick Wells is an all-time favorite. This time of year, there's always moorings available, but in high season, make sure you radio ahead to check the availability. It is a bit of a narrow channel, as you can see. It gets really shallow in the middle, and the current can be quite strong. We decided to take the Highfields out for a circumnavigation of the quay. We kept cool by all the splashing water. It got a little bit rough, but it was definitely a cool experience to circumnavigate around Wardrick Wells.
Can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Get on board. times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind. Flying, get on board. We're soaring on top of the world.
Farmer's Key is another must stop. The camera just doesn't do it justice, but this cave is crazy cool. There's a cool water pool in it, so make sure you bring a dive light so you can explore deeper.
'Cause I am a barefoot man, barefoot to make my stand. I bare my soul for all the world to see. Yeah, I am a barefoot man, feet planted firmly in the sand. Bare your feet, set your souls free. I can't deny as the years gone by, seen my share of splinters. That's the price you pay, 'cause I said, shoes off for winter.
So after Farmer's Key, we decided to take a little bit of a break from filming. Every now and again you need to have a little bit of a break. Burnout is a real thing. When you're trying to produce these videos for you guys, it takes a lot of time and energy, especially the energy to put yourself out there on social media. So we did take a little bit of a break, but while we were on the hard, we managed to get so much footage, so we managed to get ourselves a little bit behind the times. So our videos now are going to be more current, coming up in the future. So we definitely didn't show you all of the spots that you can stop in the Exumas, but we showed you our favorite stops. So we hope you enjoyed this week's episode, doing our highlights of the Northern Exumas. We want to say a massive thank you to our patrons. As always, thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed and liked our videos as well. It does a lot to help the algorithm here on YouTube. So stay tuned for next week's episode, guys, where lightning strikes.